Hello, everybody. Happy end of winter break, New Year's, getting back into this flow of life, of what life looks like to you. You know, I think that when New Year's rolls around, we have this notion, that we're going to have New Year's resolutions, that we're going to, change our bodies, change our diet, change our minds, change our hearts, change our souls, that this New Year somehow has to represent big, massive, gross change. And the thing that really comforts me and the thing that I really love about astrology is that no matter what you do, the bigger soul changes are coming for you. You don't have to necessarily, drive yourself into some kind of makeshift change ground, You don't have to grind yourself into something new for change to happen and to come. Energy does that for you. And more so, what's more important is attuning yourself to the energies that are available and that are there for you. I love the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey. When he went to that self-help person and he's like, you have to say yes to everything. It's kind of like that. It's like instead of coming from a place of resistance, let the new year open you and start to see opportunities and take them as they come, rather than forcing things, rather than feeling like I need this whole new way of being, I need this whole new working out regime, I need this whole new way of eating. It's like, oh, as I'm eating this meal, is it nourishing me? Are there healthy aspects to it? Am I eating because I'm sad? What are the fundamentals behind what I'm eating? What are the fundamentals behind how I'm exercising? Instead of feeling like we need to be different from who we are, embracing who we are and working from that kind of power place is a much more poignant and I think important thing to do in the new year, is to just understand ourselves a little bit better. Not that we need to change ourselves, not that we need to bring in so much new energy, and especially this New Year's. We're coming into the new year with Mercury retrograde, with Mars retrograde. And what's really interesting is Mars is in retrograde in Gemini, and Gemini rules Mercury that is also in retrograde. So there's this double retrograde situation going on that is really powerful. And so these are things that are meant to stop us in our tracks, things that are meant to bend us and bend the things that we think are stable until they either stay or they break. And that's not exactly charge into it energy. It's anything but, to be honest. It's really ease yourself in. Start just paying attention to where your energy levels are and why. What's feeding you versus not feeding you and why. It's that whole concept of what's not working. But not just saying it's not working, trying to get to the bottom of why the things you've been doing haven't been working, or why this thing broke, or why we got sick, or why we got fired, or why we hurt ourselves. There's all of these different reasons. And the new year isn't asking us to change. The new year is asking us to go slower and to be more reflective this year. There's been coming some really big astrological changes. And so it's kind of like this fortification is what needs to happen these first few weeks of the new year. Venus moved into Aquarius. Venus was in Capricorn, which was a very hardworking energy. It was, maybe our relationships felt more practical, felt more like work, felt more, I think the holidays kind of bring that on. There's just more to do that isn't of the playful realm. But Venus moving into Aquarius can be this really beautiful pressure release valve, because Aquarius rules community and technology and the bigger picture of things. I love Aquarius energy because it isn't personal, it's bigger. It's the bigger picture energy. And so it's finding new people to be around, finding new rhythm in how you socialize, in how you're technology-ing. What are you doing on your phone and why? What new technological advances do you want to bring forth into your life that's going to nourish you better? It also rules the house of astrology. So let's think about astrology a little bit more in this Venusian kind of way. How can we be working with astrology to really enhance our lives and understand ourselves better? What a beautiful opportunity Venus in Aquarius can be, because we're able to view ourselves, beauty, art, music, relationships, all the yummy Venus things, we're able to view it from a more Aquarian standpoint, which is like a bird's eye view. It's like looking down at the situation without attachment. We can look at our relationships now without this weird attachment the same way that we have in Capricorn, that we were maybe, working or overworking to try to facilitate a relationship that maybe wasn't serving us, And so it's more like, how can we be in service to the collective right now in a Venusian way? How can we create together? So there might be more yummy ideas and dinner parties and things that stimulate new friendships, that stimulate a new way to look at ourselves and the way we do relationship different. I love that. I think we're really ready for that. And I think that Venus being in Aquarius is going to give us the capacity and ability to see ourselves kind of different and in like a new, cool way. My cat doesn't agree. We'll have to argue about it later. Anyway, and then some other energy that's going on is that we have a full moon coming up at the end of the week. And this full moon is super emo, you guys. It's in Cancer. Cancer rules the 4th house of home, and Cancer is also really emotional. So we might get to the end of this week where we were dragged out of our reverie. We're back into the real world, and we're expected to human at the same pace that we were humaning a few weeks ago. And the thing is that the energy resources just aren't there the same way as when we start the holiday season. We're a little bit burnt out. We're a little bit tired. I feel like a lot of us got very sick. We're still kind of trying to integrate 2023 into our bodies. I think that it's really important to understand that when we're charging into a new year, sometimes the energy is there for that, but then other times it's not. And this year it's just not. And so with that understanding, how can we start, how bears hibernate? They start building up the resources rather than just throwing them out. It's like, where are you spending your time and how are you spending your time? And how can we all do this better so that we're better resourced, better supported? All of those things. So then comes this full moon in Cancer, and it's going to feel quite emotional. We're going to want to be home. We're going to want to cook more meals and feel safe. And where do you feel the most safe? I recommend that's what you do this weekend. Wherever you're needing safety and comfort, lean into that. Otherwise, if you're trying to do things that don't feel good, it's going to feel extra not good. And you're going to get oversaturated with other people's emotions or the outside world's input on how you're living your life or whatever, and that's going to feel sensitive. We're just going to be sensitive to the touch this weekend. And it's really important that we take baths and stay warm and drink tea and talk nice to each other. It's going to be a really important week for that because there are some big energies coming our way. Pluto is going to be moving in to this sign that it hasn't been in since, the American and the French revolutions. Is going to be moving into Aquarius, and it's like, wow, everything's going to change and it's going to be different. What the world needs now is different, and how that's going to move us. And it's only going to be here for 4 months this year. It's just 3 or 4 months. It's going to show us a little vibe of what this is going to look like. And then it'll go back into, its other space, its Capricorn space for a bit. And then it'll move next year in 2024 and it'll be there for years. So we have this really long bit of time that's coming our way that's going to change so much. And really things start kicking off energetically in March. We have a couple months to really sit and devour our own usness and try to find some strongholds in our own day-to-day life that then when things start really shifting, because Saturn's moving too. Saturn is going to be moving into Pisces. And that's real deep for Saturn, okay? Because since 2008, Saturn's been in its rulership, okay? Saturn's been in Capricorn, which Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn used to rule Aquarius. And so it's been in its home signs since 2008. And it's been hard lessons but like it's the kind of Saturnian energy that's about foundations and stability. So now with Saturn moving into Pisces, it's so much less about stability and foundations. It's so much more about the psyche and the boundaries of things. And things are just going to feel a little less clear. You know, we're going to have these abilities though. What I love about Saturn in Pisces is that there's going to be this ability to take our dreams, to take our spirit space and work positively on it. Like really work on ourselves in our spiritual realms and in our dream spaces to dance new theories alive. And I really love that with Pluto also gonna, making this big shift into Aquarius, because it's like sky is the limit with possibilities. And when you shoot for the stars, you sometimes land on your face and the injury is bigger than when we're just falling from the, typical earthy Saturnian lessons. These are bigger, higher, broader spectrum lessons. And so it's going to require us to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit less attached to outcome, a little bit more willing to see the other person's point of view, to see spirit's point of view, to just see things a little bit different. I'm kind of excited about all these changes, but they're not just like pam, pam, pam hitting us this week. They're tapping us and they're being like, hey, these big changes are coming. How do you want to change? But not in the New Year's resolution kind of way, in the soul way. Like, where is it inside of you that is burning, that is asking for change and different, and to understand something that before this time has been completely ungraspable? It's like all of a sudden anything goes, and we're going to be able to see ourselves in this spiritual capacity that we haven't been capable of before. I'm hoping this breeds compassion. I'm hoping this breeds righteous understanding. And I'm hoping this brings other people's, and yourselves included, dreams to start to come to fruition, to start to build, so that foundations don't always just have to be built on brick and mortar and hard work. It can be built on fantasy and dreams and the places in which we don't have to feel so structured all the time. I love this for us because I'm also seeing businesses doing things different now. A lot of businesses that don't ship things are doing like home-based work realities. And I think that that's such a Piscean vibe, because it's like, how can we use our resources less in a physical capacity and more in an energetic way to start building things? It's like energetic building instead of physical building. The Saturn energy has been very earthy and very much about foundational building these last so many years, since 2008. And now it's going to be this opportunity to like paint the walls, to stick stars on the ceilings, to dance and to sing and to bring things together that feel just as important but haven't been able to be attended to in a really long time. And I'm wishing for that for us. And to kick it off with a Cancerian full moon is pretty watery. That's pretty emotional. That's pretty deep, but if you can find your safety people and your safe places and your comfort this weekend, then I really do feel that you can sit in the energy that's approaching us, in the change that is befalling us, and start to see it as an opportunity to do things in a different way. I feel like everybody has said since COVID that it's all about getting back to normal. But the truth is that, and I think where the collective trauma is coming from, is that there is no more normal, is that none of us really know or can tangibly explain what normal is anymore. So it's going to be this letting go of that boundary, letting go of that need to force normalcy. And now to expand into what could be, what we can build when we let go of the constructs that maybe our forefathers built, that maybe like the past built, that doesn't hold up anymore. We need new roofs from time to time. So does our everything. So does our belief system. So does our government. So does our housing situation. Everything needs a re-roofing from time to time. And this is going to be a big cycle of shifting out of that need for normal, whatever that is, and move into this new era of anything could happen. And now I know that can be triggering for those of us that are controlling, for those of us that live in fear states and have fear-based realities that we don't want to confront right now because things have just been so hard. Like, I super get that. But the benefit of understanding and accepting that there is no normal anymore allows us to start rebuilding in a way that isn't using old constructs that weren't working. It is now the opportunity and the time to start rebuilding something, but in a completely different new way. And that can be kind of alarming. I mean, it's like going from browns, that all the houses are browns, to now all the houses are fuchsia. It's like, whoa, it can be assaulting to the senses when things start shifting radically in a way that we're not used to or comfortable with. They say that you only make a change when you're too uncomfortable to stay where you are. And I think that that's really true for our human evolution, that we stay where we're safe because we think that that will keep us from harm. And the truth is that that constriction, that staying safe, that pulling back is the very thing that started breaking us down in the first place. You know, the open-palmed acceptance of what is, not what used to be or what could be, but the acceptance right now, this week, of what is so powerful. What if you could just sit every day in just that day and try to do the best thing for your body, for your mind, for your soul that day? Rinse, wash, repeat. What if we weren't always so afraid of the future or so hurt by the past or projecting all of these things that we think are going to happen, and start releasing to the fact that something has happened in this community, in this world, that we can't ever take back, that has changed everything irrevocably. And rather than trying to grasp hold things that felt safe or comfortable, letting go and releasing to the change and the ability to change that is available to us right now, and start getting really inspired by the energy that that can create when we start, painting the canvas a different color, when we start seeing things as being completely possible. What if, when we say anything's possible, that was actually true? What if anything was possible? It would really change the way we make our decisions in life, I feel like. And I do think deep down that anything is possible. And so how do we do that? How do we live that in our everyday life? These are the contemplations of the week. And, finishing out on a really emotional vibe can feel hard, but it can also make us more permeable to change when we allow how we're really feeling to come to the surface. I think understanding why you don't feel safe, or why you want to change this part of yourself so completely, or why you don't want to change this part of yourself so completely. It's all such good information to get to the bottom of things. And I super recommend that, because here we are. Here's the High Priestess. She is one of the most powerful cards in the tarot because she sits on her own pedestal. She doesn't need other people to build it for her. It's a construct of her own creation. She is the one who can make shit happen because she's not looking for validation. She's not looking into the outside world to give her what she needs for righteous change. She's there. She is the change she wants to see in the world. She is all encompassing. She is the full moon, the new moon, the half moons. She's all of it, all in one being. And that is wisdom. And that is crone energy. And that is what we get when we've lost it all. And there's nothing left to lose. And you get to start from this place of deep understanding that nothing is forever. Nothing is permanent. And when we let go of the need to control our day-to-day realities, we become the all-powerful being. We become the moon when we aren't being so moved by it. When we can embody it, when we can embody change, when we can move where the wind is blowing or allow the rain to wet our hair, when we can truly be in the elements of how life is moving us, that is when we embody High Priestess energy. And that's really what is being asked of us in this really big time where things are going to start to move and shift. Things have felt stagnant. We have felt stuck. We have been traumatized. These things have happened to us. But now the energy is ready to say, what are you going to do about it? We're going to High Priestess that shit. That's what we're going to do. We're going to become the moon and the stars and the sun and all of the things we need to nourish and embody our own empowerment. And how wonderful that'll feel on the flip side when we finally release the need to have same, and allow whatever needs to shift inside of us. Let's do the work. But not yet. Not yet. Because we're not bombing into this new year. That's not the vibe. We're resting. We're nurturing ourselves. We're understanding ourselves better so that when this energy is here and available to us, we can be like, here I am. May this week be nourishing, emotional in all the right ways, and indicative of how life could be in the future. Please like and subscribe to my page. I so appreciate the comments, the following. It really means so much to me. It helps me continue to make these videos. And if you'd like to book a reading for me, reach out. I'm so happy to do that. Let's look at your new year. Let's look at the energies you're coming into with this year and where you can put your focus, because it's really important to know what astrological energies are on your side for you to be actively working with. That's my favorite part of astrology, and I'm here for it. And I'm here for you.